Before we get into this video, you may be asking yourself, didn't you just review an Atlas GP40 locomotive, maybe in the CSX maintenance of way scheme, like maybe a month or two ago? And if you're wondering that, you may be right, but there are some other things that I want to cover on this model, and this one in particular that I noticed that kind of irked me more than they did on the CSX because, well, the CSX was prototypical and the Norfolk Southern one seemed to be missing some details. And so I just want to show you those, but we end up with a pretty powerful locomotive. So do those aesthetic differences make the difference in the model, or is it something we can live with? Now, I'll show you what I think, and then you guys can make the judge. So without further ado, let's get into the model and see what we got. Hey there, YouTube. Welcome back to the Allegheny Northern in N scale. And I guess this could be considered an unboxing, but it's basically going to be a review of the Atlas locomotive that you see here. So before we get into that locomotive, let's take a look at some other stuff here. I'm not going to call this an unboxing video because I think unboxing videos are stupid. And I know you're thinking to yourself, well, wait, don't you have an unboxing video somewhere on your channel? And yeah, I think if you go back, there might be an unboxing somewhere in my channel. And let's just say maybe I've grown as a person. And I don't think you on YouTube need to watch me take stuff out of the box. But in case you were wondering, yes, all of my stuff did come in boxes, and I am showing you that there are boxes behind here. I'm just not going to make you watch me open them. Okay, now that I've ended my rant, let's talk about the stuff that came in those boxes, which is probably more exciting than the boxes themselves. So, first, we know we have the big boy running around the layout, and that's pretty cool. And now we've got the tenders to go behind it, and both Scale Trains and Cato put out their versions of those tenders, and I think you guys know probably which version I went with. Yep, Scale Trains. So, just absolutely fantastic detail on here. I mean, just look at this thing. Like, absolutely phenomenal. And what made me decide to do Scale Trains as opposed to the Cato stuff is somebody actually did a comparison, and I'll be damned if I can remember who it was, but somebody on YouTube already reviewed both. And the detail between the two was striking enough that, you know, Scale Trains just, they have it down pat. So went with the Scale Trains version, so you're going to see those running behind the big boy here. And then wanted to get some additional coil cars because now that Reardon Metal is up and running on the layout, I don't have enough coil cars for the railroad, and I wanted to get some NS, so I've got it in the black, which looks pretty good. And I just love that all of the, you know, printing on here, it's just phenomenal what Scale Trains can do. And I'm trying to kind of be careful here because, you know, these things are highly detailed, and of course all the parts and pieces are loose. So you can take the coils off, or the coil shields off, and then you can actually take the coils themselves out if you so wanted to. And then the inside little pieces here, I don't glue them in place, but I think if you're not going to be taking this apart, you probably could just put a little bit of glue there to hold those in place. But these are pretty cool cars. I've got some older Atlas cars that I am going to replace with Scale Trains versions. So as soon as I have enough of the Scale Trains, I've got 4 now. I probably need about 4 more. But you know, I'm gonna get rid of those Atlas ones. They're not bad cars. I mean, they run fine, and they don't look bad at all. They're actually fairly nice. But once again, they just don't compare to the detail here on the Scale Trains version. So we're gonna get those added. And then picked up a new locomotive here. This is an Atlas. It is a GP40-2 Norfolk Southern, and it is in the Operation Lifesaver livery here. So let's get into the locomotive. This is the main focus of today's video. Okay, I always like when I have multiple manufacturers of locomotives that I can show you, because then you get to see some of the details. And so when I sound like the cranky old guy going through a review and you go, oh man, that's just sound like you're angry at everything, you kind of get an idea of where I'm coming from. So this is our brand new Atlas model, okay? And, you know, at first view, it looks like a very nice model. The printing is all very, very clean. And this is an ESU 5 Loc sound decoder in here. So this is their gold Masterline series locomotive. So this is the best that Atlas is offering, okay? So, you know, nice thin handrails. Probably a little thicker than prototype, but they're not big and bulky like you see on some of the old stuff. And nice crisp painting details. You've got your air horns. You know, everything is for the most part it's molded on. You don't really have any separately applied details on here. No MU hoses. It's pretty standard for Atlas. Okay, now let's go and look at, this is an older model. This is actually a much older model. This is Fox Valley, who is now part of Scale Trains. But this is back when they were just Fox Valley. And this is there's a drop-in Digitrax decoder in here, but it's not a sound equipped model. And I just want you to take a look at it. Now I understand this is a different unit, so there's a little bit different printing on it. But also look that I've got snowplow, I have ditch lights, I have separately applied MU hoses, and that goes for the back as well. I've got my ditch lights and my separately applied MU hoses. And so if I just take this and show you side by side, you can see the difference in the pilots there. You know, from the standpoint of the printing, you know, the printing is good. The paint job is fine, but there's, I don't know if you can see that there's slight variations, and the Fox Valley looks just a little bit thinner as far as the paint goes, and a little more evenly applied. And so if we come around here to the front, and we'll do this again here. Now, once again, I understand that these are two different units, and you know they're not exactly the same, but I want you to just see those differences. Now, what's cool is you do have two different logos on here, so that's kind of neat, right? So it's Operation Lifesaver, but you know one's got the crossing symbol there with without the gate, and this one's got the gate. So it's kind of neat to see the two different variations. One's got the little AC unit. One just has some antennas up above, and I realized my thumb put that out of focus when I did that. But so some differences here. Now, I really like the Fox Valley version, and I thought that was, you know, it's just a nice locomotive. It runs really well, and I would like to get some sound in it, because I think this locomotive with sound would be absolutely fantastic. So that is on the docket to get an upgrade into the ESU Loc sound decoder family here, but that's not what we're talking about. So like I said, this is a nice locomotive. So if you're looking for a decent locomotive, as far as looks go, this is not bad. And you can add this to your collection for around $170, $180, depending on where you get it. So reasonably priced compared to something like Scale Trains, which is going to probably run you closer to 255, I think they're up to now. So a little bit better on the price, but you don't get all the detail. Now, I went back and I looked at 3045, the actual unit, and I found it in a couple of different paint schemes. One is the Operation Lifesaver. The other one is simply an NS with the standard logo on the side, so it's obviously been repainted. And I'm going to be honest with you, when I was doing my research, I didn't really look to pay attention to what the timing was, so I don't know if it was an NS before it was an Operation Lifesaver or what. But in any event, what I did notice is in all of them, there was a snowplow on the front and back of the unit. And I could find no photographs of when this unit did not have a snowplow. And so when we did the GP40-2 review of the CSX maintenance away locomotive, and I said, you know what, this one actually did not have a snowplow. I left that alone. But see, that kind of detail on this locomotive really annoys me because, you know, it's supposed to be their top of the line. Why is there not a snowplow on here? I don't have an answer for you. So Atlas, that's one for you. I don't know why. Maybe it was delivered without the plow. But like I said, I found 0 pictures online where this unit did not have snowplows on it. Thankfully, sometimes I can be a little bit smarter than the average bear, and although I didn't need it, last time I was at the hobby shop, I picked out some snowplows. These things are impossible to find, so if you find them at a train show or if a hobby shop is, you know, cleaning out their warehouse and they come up with some of these detailed parts, then you need to pick them up. They're usually about $4 or $5. There you go, $5. And it's just a good idea to have them because manufacturers will do stuff like this and they won't give you the snowplow and you're going to want it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a little bit of updating to this locomotive, and you're going to see that after we do the whole sound and performance review so that you see this locomotive out of the box. But we're going to go ahead and put the snowplows on, and then of course it needs some MU hoses, and it also needs actual cut levers, so you can see that they're kind of molded on there, and that's just lame. I mean, if you're gonna put out a gold series, let's get that basic detail right. I can see maybe leaving off the grab irons because now we're starting to get into the range of, you know, scale trains, and we're getting a little funky here, and you know, Atlas doesn't really do that, but this bigger stuff I think should be on here. So, all right, let's take this thing over the layout and take it for a spin. Okay, so I want to give credit where credit is due, and that is there are 2 manufacturers on the market right now that I think, as far as putting out a quality locomotive in the state of, you know, in the condition of operation, that are unmatched, and that is Tissot and Atlas. They have a motor and a drive system that is just, it's probably the best. You don't have any issues out of the box usually. You don't have any stuttering or jerking, and it's just they seem to run better right out of the box. And so, in giving credit to Atlas for that. Now, there was a time where Atlas's locomotives were coming out of the box and they were really jerky, and the wheels needed cleaned before, you know, you could actually put the locomotive into service. This locomotive is definitely not that. It is running fantastic right out of the box. I haven't even broken this thing in yet. I was just intending to do the sound, and as soon as I started it up, it started right away, and Its slow speed is fantastic. So I'm just going to kick this down here. I've got this at about 10% throttle. And then I'm going to knock it down to about 3% there. And you can see that it's just kind of crawling right along. It's very smooth. So as far as operation goes, this locomotive right out of the box, fantastic. I am going to go through the break-in process that I do with all of these locomotives. And like I said, I had intended to do that before I actually shot the video. But since it ran so smooth, I just wanted to show you. And props off, hats off to the folks over at Atlas for, putting together. Might be missing the snow plows, but it runs fantastic out of the box. Okay, so let's put this baby to work. Let's see what she can do here. I'm going to jump her up to about 30% throttle. That seems to be what I usually have these at. And we're going to pull 4 Cato coal cars behind it. And as you can see, 4 was actually, that was child's play for it. So usually these things top out at about 6. So I'm going to, because it made that look so easy, I'm going to go ahead and just go right to 7, and let's see what she looks like with 7 on her. So we'll reset here and we'll go for 7. Okay, 30% throttle, 7 coal cars, running all by herself. And it looks like she's going to handle that just fine. Yeah, she makes that just fine. So, all right, now I want to, let's see if we can get, oh, I don't know. What do you think, 10? Let's see what she does with 10. Okay, 10 cars, and yes, I know you guys are all noticing this locomotive stuttering at the same spot, and it's still that track, and I am fixing that before the June update. But anyway, all right, 10 cars on board now. Let's see what she does. And we're not counting that because I know why she got stuck. So 10 cars, 2% grade. And she's struggling a little bit. I can hear the wheels spinning, but she's kind of pulling it. So I don't know. We're going to count this as a win. Nope. And it got stuck. So that is the end. Great. Actually, that's a great performance review. So we usually get about 5 or 6 cars. This is a smaller locomotive. It got more than 6. So somewhere between 6 and 10 is probably where it's going to max out on a 2% grade. For a little locomotive like GP40-2 on this layout, that is a fantastic pulling record. So, great pulling ability, great operation right out of the box. So this is, from an operational standpoint, this is an excellent locomotive. And I'm going to go ahead and just put that right in the 10 category right now. That's a real nice result for this locomotive. Okay, so bringing this thing home here for the Atlas Gp40-2 in the NS Operation Lifesaver livery. Now, we did do one of the GP40-2s in the CSX. I had a lot less issues with that locomotive as far as some of the details that were missing because it seemed to match the in-operation prototype. This guy, I just got a little bit of an issue with not having that snowplow, not having ditch lights, because from the photographs that I saw online, it did have those, and I couldn't find any that didn't. Now, like I said, it may have been delivered without them, and there just may not be any good photographs of it, but from what I was able to find, it looks like it should have had that. So, not real sure what happened there. That was, we're going to say that was maybe a miss. Once again, like I said, I'm just going off photographs that I could find. But the operation of the locomotive, absolutely fantastic. So if you are looking at purchasing this, this is a re-release of the GP40-2s, the next batch. It's a great little pickup, and it's a great little hauler. So looking forward to having it on the layout and running in the coal field here. So I'm going to go ahead and... The snowplow upsets me enough that I'm going to knock a point off for it, so we're going to go ahead and give it a 9 out of 10 on the looks. I got to add those MU hoses, I got to add the snowplow. Fortunately, I have them, otherwise I might be angrier, but not a big deal. You're going to see some photographs and videos of it here at the end with the snowplow and MU hoses on. But the rest of that, fantastic locomotive, 10 out of 10 on the operation and the pulling ability. So if you were thinking about adding this to your layout, I would highly recommend it.